Good morning, and have a pleasant morning to all of you. I hope you're doing well in your home in acquiring knowledge in different ways. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Hazel Abrugania, your MC this morning, with my co-members Meryl Joy Estorjo, Jadmerl Bisayas, Shira Novemberian, and Gia Kalag. And we are the Blackpink. So Blackpink in your area, guys. So we are the one who will discuss the quality assessment for drinking water through coliform isolation as well as the microorganisms that are in line with it. So fasten your seatbelt, relax, and let's get started. What is coliform? Coliform are bacteria that define as rod-shaped, gram-negative, non-spore-forming, and motile or non-motile bacteria which can ferment lactose with the production of acid and gas when incubated at 35 to 37 degrees Celsius.
These bacteria are known to cause health problems ranging from skin infections to severe as a good indicators for fecal contamination.
It is factual that Earth consists of approximately 70% surface area covered with water and remaining is land, which only have 2% of water that is drinkable.
Water is an important chemical molecule containing feature of life. It can be dissolved into organic compounds, salts, inorganic compounds, and gases that are involved in metabolic processes because it is universal solvent, and due to that it provides stability to membrane system, macromolecules, hemostasis, transportation, and thermal regulation of body.
All cells of body contain water as an important component. Water content of a single cell is 45% to 95%, and microorganism contains 80% of body weight, as water and human contains water with 70% of their body weight.
Water is equally important and critical for both humans and environment, and it is a key issue in form of drinking water.
Environmental effects like migration of peoples and animals, land losses, change of environmental factors, depletion of biological resources shows that these activities are noticeable. Pathogenic contamination of water is also an important threat for living organisms.
In Asian regions, those people who are living near riverbanks are at high risk because of sewage pollution. This is the direct disposal of chemicals from factories and septic tanks that are the main reservoir of pathogenic microorganisms that causes the waterborne diseases.
Developing regions lack in provision of safe drinking water to their people, and in Africa and Asia, almost 800 billion individuals using unsafe drinking water, which results in suffering of individuals from waterborne diseases.
In addition, coliforms are common contaminants of water due to improper sewage disposal and human and animal wastes.
For many years of recreating a solution in obtaining clean and safe drinking water, several methods that are conducted in performing the isolation of bacteria, such as coliforms from water sources. The commonly used method is multiple fermentation tube technique. In this study, in order to obtain specific results, there are two kinds of methods used, and these are the auto-analysis colilert and multiple tube fermentation test. According to Edberg et al. Of 1988, there are 5 utilities that represent 6 USA Environmental Protection Agency regions have participated in the experiment. The collected samples from participating utilities are permitted by the USA APA Environmental Monitoring Support Laboratory Guidelines. The utilities included range from serving one area only to large communities' water system over 3 states. These also include sites such as shallow and deep wells, springs, rivers, and surface reservoirs. Aside from water samples, these are the necessary materials that are used throughout the experimental and observation periods. Aseptically sterilate test tubes measuring 13 by 100 nanometer filled and heat disinfected for about 7 degrees Celsius for 0.5 hour. powder formula for AC contains lauryl tryptose broth for MTF, incubator, 366 nanometer hand UV lamp. Procedures for auto-analysis call alert. In each test tube, 10 ml of water sample was added. The powder used as a nutrient source for the possible microorganism is then dissolved through agitation. The test tubes are observed to have a colorless solution. It is then subjected for incubation at 35 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Procedures for multiple tube fermentation or the MTF test. 10 tube containing 10 ml of double-strength lauryl tryptose broth. Water sample was added and then subjected for incubation at 35 degrees Celsius for 24 hours.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sharon Novem Elbarion, and I'm going to discuss to you the result of this study. The table shows the obtained results from two different methods used, which are auto-analysis call alert and multiple tube fermentation test. There are a total of 1,086 positive tubes in MTF and 1,279 yielded positive tubes for AC. In the table 1, it indicates the comparison in the positive yields between two tests. This shows that AC yield more than standard method MTF. Yet, the results are further explained by Edberg et al. 1988. According to them, the sensitivity identification of species isolated among positive results for AC test have been observed, but through a national evaluation conducted on AC test indicates that AC and MTF test have the same sensitivity in species enumeration, stating that there was no statistical difference between AC and MTF test when it comes to the obtained results being compared, both having p-value of less than 0.001. In Table 2, results are shown to be the recovery of heterotrophic plate count or HPC that is suppressed standard method by AC test. As reviewed, among the four samples numbered as 16, 22, 30, and 42, each representing numbers yield greater numbers of negative results than the positive ones. According to Edberg et al. 1988, the HPC suppression caused this outcome, where there are significant loss of between 17 and 24 suppressed results out of possible 40 per sample. However, the positive tubes obtained were not able to obtain heterotroph microorganisms. Instead, it resulted to the growth of coliforms, which colony-forming unit per ml of positive tubes are also calculated and recorded. As for Table 3, this shows the results of microorganisms that has been isolated using both tests during observation period. These microorganisms are significant part of total coliform group. The numbers indicates the most isolated species, namely Klebsiella numinae, Enterobacter agglomerans, Enterobacter clossiae, and Citrobacter frundi. The presence of E. coli is generally thought of a much more specific indicator of fecal pollution in freshwater bodies than total coliform group. However, the presence of total coliforms and E. coli in water samples tested would provide utilities the instant measure in identifying whether the water is confirmed for fecal contamination.
According to ScienceDirect.com, coliform bacteria are defined as rod-shaped, gram-negative non-spore-forming, and motile or non-motile bacteria that can ferment lactose with the production of acid and gas when incubated at 35 to 37 degrees Celsius. They are a commonly used indicator of sanitary quality of foods and water. The examples of coliform bacteria are Citrobacter, Enterobacter, Hafnia, Klebsiella, and Escherichia. If coliform bacteria are present in your drinking water, your risk of contracting a waterborne illness is increased. Although total coliforms can come from sources other than fecal matter, a positive total coliform sample should be considered an indication of population in your well. So in Canadian Drinking Water Quality Guideline, for total coliforms is non-detectable per 100 ml. So in this case, it is safe to drink because there is no any coliform bacteria present in the water and also 0 colony forming units per 100 millimeters. And for every 100 ml of drinking water tested, no total coliforms or E. coli should be detected. The example diseases caused by coliforms infection are pneumonia, urinary tract infections or UTI, and diarrhea. So, to prevent or control coliforms contamination in drinking water of our community is to shut off faucets when not in use, repair leaking faucets or pipes, and many more to prevent the sewage overflow or wastewater releases. Also, proper disposal of garbage or any industrial waste that can harm the humans and animals. In addition, ways on how to get rid of coliforms contamination in drinking water is we can use chlorination or chlorine because chlorine can be injected in your water supply with the use of a water conditioning system, eliminating all forms of coliform bacteria and making your water safe to drink. We can also do boiling water to kill all the bacteria that is present in that certain water. Earth consists of approximately 70% surface area covered with water and the 2% of water which is drinkable. Water is very essential to both plants, animals, and also in human being. We cannot assure that the 2% of drinkable water is very safety to drink in both human being and animals because of water contamination or water pollution. And this water contamination could bring many different kinds of diseases to both humans and animals and have a big possibility that can also cause death. When the water is contaminated, there is a coliforms bacteria that was present in that water, and one of the causes of water contamination is the improper disposal of garbage, sewage overflow, industrial waste, chemicals that are harmful to both humans and animals' health, and many more. There is a lot of cases in this contamination in drinking water that was caused of many waterborne diseases to both humans and animals, and worse, the cause of their death because they drink a contaminated water. Therefore, not all drinkable water is safe to drink even in our faucets because there is a possibility that there is a leakage to the hose that is connected in your faucets. So, to prevent the drinking of water that was contaminated, boil the water first before drinking or put chlorine in your reservoir to kill the pathogens that was present in the water. And by performing the quality assessment for drinking water, if it is safe to drink is not is that for every 100 ml drinking water tested, no total coliform or E. coli should be detected so that it is safe to drink.